IVM.
Hi, I'm Utsav, a behavior researcher by training and a slow traveler by passion. Postcards from Nowhere is a travel podcast where I condense a decade of travel experiences and explore not just the where, but also the why and how to travel. My stories emerged from slow traveling the less explored parts of the world: Bosnia and Herzegovina, Armenia, Uzbekistan, and even China. At the end of each story, I give practical tips and new ideas about how to travel better. This week, we travel across North, Central, and Southern Tamil Nadu to discover the Biryanis of the state, with their unique accompaniments like Dalcha and Ennai Kathrika, and the light it sheds on India's culinary culture.
மத்த நாட்டு சுவையெல்லாமே ஒத்த வேல உடைய போல சுத்தமான நம்மூர் சுவையோ ஆத்தா தந்த உசுர போல தீயூட்டி பாசங்கொட்டி சமைச்சது திண்டுக்கல் தலப்பக்கட்டி.
This isn't a traditional Tamil poem from Sangam literature or any other epic. It's actually from a commercial for a brand which started over 60 years ago in the small town of Dindigul in central Tamil Nadu. It's 1957. A humble betel nut shop owner takes a chance to set up a small 4-seater hotel by the name of Ananda Vilas Biryani Hotel. The recipe is his wife's unique style of biryani. The place soon starts getting famous, and as word of mouth spreads, people start arriving from neighboring towns. The man Nagasami Naidu becomes recognizable through his talapa, a traditional headdress, and over the years he came to be known as Talapakatti Naidu. So what's so unique about this? Just another biryani origin story with just another brand jingle. But for the more business-minded listeners, sample this. In 2019, CX Partners, a private equity firm, picked up a majority stake for 235 crores, valuing the brand at 450 crores. In 2021, it further raised an undisclosed amount from a clutch of investors, including the family office of Havells Group, valuing the brand at 860 crores. It continues to be the largest private equity investment in a local restaurant chain. What started out as Ananda Vilas Biryani Hotel is today known as Dindigul Talapakatti Restaurant. The 4-seater hotel has now expanded to over 100 outlets, including 9 abroad. But what makes the biryani so special that it commands a cool 860 crore valuation? Traditionally, the first differentiator was the water. Athur is a small town close to Dindigul, and it houses Kamaraja Sagar Lake. The water from this lake is supposed to add flavor to the biryani. Then comes the meat itself. It is sourced from tender grass-fed goats from the famous livestock markets of Kannivadi and Paramati. But there is a unique accompaniment with the Dindigul biryani which elevates the taste. Here is Anthony, our resident Tamil Nadu expert at IVM and the producer of this show. His introduction to this unique accompaniment came in a rather amusing way.
My wife is from Tiruchirappalli. I was first introduced to this Dalcha after I got married. Before that, I was to say Chennai biryani is the best biryani forever. Yeah. Is something like that. But first instant, why are you eating biryani with sambar? What happened to your people?
And here's what goes into making dalcha.
Dalcha is something which is made out of mutton bones cooked with chana dal and tur dal with a turmeric, and then they add a ground paste of coconut, onion and cumin seeds, and that is cooked with brinjal, mango, drumstick or raw banana plantain, and then they add garam masala or curry masala powder to it, and then they pressure cook it or make a tadka with ghee, and then they give a sprinkle of coriander and curry leaves, and that is served with biryani. Without this dalcha, no South people will eat biryani.
But there is one more thing which separates the Dindigul biryani from the rest of the biryanis: the rice. Unlike the heavy dominance of basmati in most biryanis across northern and eastern India, the Dindigul biryani uses homegrown rice.
This particular Siraga Samba is cultivated over there in Vellapalayam and Kivalur Taluk. like over in Nagapattinam district. Siraga means cumin seeds, and Samba is the season in which the rice is cultivated. It's like from August to January. You have a distinction between Jeera rice and Siraga Samba rice. Siraga Samba rice will have a distinct smell on an odor to it, where Jeera rice will not have. It's plain. Even Basmati rice will not have. And Basmati doesn't have an like a distinct taste to it. It's the normal rice, right? But Siraga Samba is not like that. Siraga Samba has its own flavor. So it's named as Jeera. Jeera is like has a distinct odor to it, right? And the distinct taste. It's something like that. So Siraga Samba, when you cook with meat, it absorbs all the flavors of meat with its own distinct taste, and meat's taste also, it tastes like the heaven.
The distinction between the kinds of rice is also how one distinguishes the different biryanis of Tamil Nadu. As someone who moved to Bangalore a few years ago, the city is dotted with yet another culinary export from the state, the Ambur Biryani. The story of Ambur Biryani can be traced back to the Mughal kitchens. The Nawabs of Arcot were established by the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb and ruled the Carnatic region of South India mainly in the 18th century. They used Arcot near Ambur as their base, and it was in these kitchens that the Ambur Biryani saga began. So it's not surprising that the Ambur Biryani inherited the dum style of cooking biryani, where the meat and rice are cooked separately. In this aspect, the Dindigul biryani is different, as both meat and rice are cooked together. The Ambur biryani not only uses basmati rice, but also uses Siraga Samba rice. But even in that Ambur region, there are distinctions which come in.
All these three areas are there in the Chennai-Bangalore highway actually. Arcad, Ambur and Vaniyambadi. All these three areas are famous for biryani. Three stations are famous for biryani. Like Vaniyambadi serves you like a basmati. It's pretty less like Hyderabadi biryani, but you can't find that fried onions and such things over there. But you can find that cashews and dried grapes and everything over there in Vaniyambadi biryani. So that's the major distinction between Arcad, Ambur and Vaniyambadi biryani.
And yet, there is another biryani from Tamil Nadu, which has its own legion of fans. The Chennai biryani. It has a flavor palette similar to the Dindigul biryani, and here too the rice and the meat are cooked together. But it uses basmati rice and not Siraga Samba. And much like the Dindigul biryani, it too has a unique accompaniment.
The queen of Chennai biryani is when Chennai biryani is served with Ennai Kathrika or the Kathrika pachadi, what you say. That really, as I mentioned, Dalcha over there in the southern part of Tamil Nadu, right? This Ennai Kathrika plays an important role in Chennai. Ennai Kathrika is something like brinjals are cooked in oil, for that too precisely gingerly oil. So gingerly oil, first you have to slit the brinjals and you have to like roast it. The round ones which have purple and white inbuilt over there, right? So those are slitted and it will be sauteed in gingerly oil for around 5 to 10 minutes. That are taken apart, and you have to paste roasted groundnut and sesame seeds. Roasted groundnut and sesame seeds are pasted. And it's a normal procedure, like again spoons of gingerly oil with some peppercorns and with some jeera and onions and then tomato and then ginger garlic paste, a spoon of coriander, chili, turmeric and a pinch of astifoda, and then everything is cooked when until the oil separates out. So and then the ground paste of groundnut and sesame seeds are poured inside, and with a cup of tamarind paste or tamarind water. So that is cooked until the oil oozes out, and then you have to pour this roasted brinjals into that, and then you have to slow cook it for 30 minutes until the gingerly oil completely oozes out from that particular gravy. So that we call it as Ennai Kathrika.
There is no Chennai biryani without Ennai Kathrika. There is no Dindigul biryani without Dalcha. Every year, when Swiggy and Zomato release their annual food trend reports, biryani comes out on top as the undisputed king of what Indians love to order. It's a throwaway thing to say that biryani is an emotion, but then sometimes it truly is.
When I was in the school days, we used to take a car and we used to travel to Velangani, which is again the auspicious port for all Christians, right? So we used at least once in a year we used to go. And the way we travel to Velangani, it's like through Tanjavur. Tanjavur is the Kaveri Delta region. Like you have all the paddy fields over there. We stop the car in middle and we explore we create a firewood in between, and my mother will start cooking in biryani in mid of our travel. Like, I used to cut onions, and my father used to wash all the meat, and my brother used to cut all the vegetables and grind the spices over there. So it gives an binding energy which create a whole family. And when you eat that biryani, of course, it will give you that love, affection, which is mentioned over there in the ad of Dindigul Talapagatti.
As we travel, that Indian food is so vast and layered that it's impossible to grasp its complexity in a lifetime. So whether you like biryani or not, just remember that no travel is complete without engaging with the food of that place. What could connect a tree-finding voyage from an Egyptian pharaoh to the ancient Indian port of Bharuch in Gujarat? And what does this have to do with the three major religions of the world, Hinduism, Christianity and Buddhism? To uncover this story, tune in to Postcards from Nowhere on the IVM Podcast Network.